It's Trends O'Clock. This is Trends KE with K K Cedrick.
Hello, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Coming to you live from the capital of Kenya, Nairobi. My name is K K Cedrick. Welcome to Trends KE Show. This is yet another Thursday, and to start us off is on our trending topics of the week. But first, let me inform you of what we are discussing tonight. We have an awesome interview here with two amazing gentlemen whom we are going to talk with. Here we go. We are having on the show tonight David Kenneth, founder of Filamu, Mitaani, and Emmanuel Yegon, who is a co-founder of Mobile Journalism Africa. And what are we talking about? Film and online content production. So if you have any questions on content production, please send in your questions. We shall be reading them and they shall be answering as we discuss what they are as well doing. But first, let me take you through a few things which have been trending this week. So this first thing has been trending actually for almost 2 weeks or 3 weeks now. And it's all about this video series that was being done by creative Terence, about wash, and people have taken it up. First of all, I want you to look at this joke here. I think it's a meme. Let's have a look at this one.
Wow. Kwani hapana leta fine wine. Tafuta fine wine. Hapa weka kitu mbaya. Kama leta fine, leta fine wine. Kama ngaleta whiskey, ngaleta fine whiskey.
Kama ngaleta wine, ngaleta fine wine. Alafu hapa watu wameanzisha chemical challenge pale streets of Twitter. KOT are always on top of things. And first off, have a look at this guy here. That's MC Jesse. Hapo anasema before chemical and after chemical. Hivyo ndo kulika. Another one here of CNN's Larry Mado. Hapo ni kabla ya chemical, alafu baada ya chemical pale. Ndio mimi nilikuwa najiuliza kama wale wanafanana hivyo na wengine hatuja change. Sasa sisi tunaweza sema ile kemikali yetu sisi ngamwaya. That is it about that, and people have been talking about it throughout, mostly on Twitter and even on TikTok, on all social media platforms. But then there is something else that I want to tell you, and it is about these guys who have shown up in Kenya from Pakistan. Kuna wageni wamejaa wengi, very many visitors from Pakistan. And at first, the government, through the spokesperson, Cyrus Oguna, was saying that these people are just tourists and they have come in a large number. But then the government had to come and issue another statement as well, differently. But first, let's have a look at this clip here. All of those end up.
है जी अवाम किनिया एयरपोर्ट ते जलील ख्वार हो रही है सऊदी अरब दी मेहरबानियां ने सारियां.
So the thing is we're on transit to Saudi.
Hakuna transit to Saudi. Hao ni watu wanakuja kuishi hapa
Permanently.
Just look at all those people. Hao wote wanasema ni tourists, wameleta pesa, asanteni sana. But then they have issued another statement here. You can have a look at this statement here that was issued. They are saying there will have to be a crackdown just in any case there will be any of them who have entered the country illegally. But at first we were told, oh yeah, those are tourists. They have come to visit, and Kenya is a very awesome country. Tourists are always welcome. Then there is some news item which I saw last time online. There is a whole couple who have been sentenced because of trafficking ban. A couple, mtu na bibi yake wameshtakiwa kwa sababu waliamua they will bank on bang for their their business, and they have been arrested. I don't know what you have to say about that. If you and your person can decide that let's bang on some bank, that's up to you. But then there's this other one who decided that she will fake pregnancy, get into the maternity ward at Kenyatta National Hospital, and get out with the baby. She was not pregnant, and she had to answer some questions there, because how do you say you are pregnant, get into a maternity ward, and yet you are not pregnant? That's just too much. But then some people are trying to fake pregnancies, but then there is this, our good pastor here, anatuambia for him on his side is saying, let's have a listen first to Pastor clip.
Mi naambiaga watu niko na watoto kama 70 hivi, ukabani kama 30, ukienda Mombasa kama 20 something, ukija huko Murang'a huko Nyandarua. Nilijaribu hata kuoa, nikajaribu everything. Alienda mwingine akiwa na miba, iko na miba ya miezi 6, ameenda kuchukua guo, hakurudi. Nikajaribu.
Pastor Nganga anatuambia kuna watoto karibu 70 huku nje, hata wengine hawajui, but then someone there is trying to steal a baby from the hospital. So it happens, and it happens very much. Speaking of pastors, there are pastors in Rift Valley wanasema kuna vitu zinapeanwa huku nje na hazijawafikia. Why are you giving things out here? I think that was addressed to politicians or something. They are saying they also need to get something out of it.
Are visited, sorry, and handed something, and the question we are asking is, when will our day come? Are there no churches here in Rift Valley that can be visited and gifted? The bigger question is, when shall we get our share of this thing going round? Yet the September 30th deadline is fast approaching. In Rift Valley, we also have churches, constructions we need to finish, and needy students we support, we sponsor. It is very unfair that Central Kenya churches have been given more than they can handle.
We, ni kubaya. Churches, pastors, Rift Valley wanasema mumewenda Central, mmepeleka huko. Come to our side, we also have churches. We want to receive a good share of what they are getting. And wanasema deadline hapo ya hizo goodies ni 30th September. By the time election inafika hivi, those goodies will be gone and they will have nothing to receive out of it. So I think I'm done, but actually I cannot go before I tell you one more thing, and you all just know what it is. And yesterday, you can see there, I don't know why, that's the other day, the other GOAT scored a goal. PSG, Man City walifanywa ile kitu, alafu Messi, the very first goal since he landed in France, had to come in for in the Champions League. But then yesterday there was this other guy, the GOAT himself, greatest of all time, best scorer, the master of goals, CR7 himself. The man scored a goal 30 seconds before the match ended and saved the great Manchester United. Sina ubaya, lakini respect to CR7 Ronaldo himself. So we have come to the end of that, and thank you very much for the very many of you who have tuned into the show. Shortly, we are now getting into that discussion that we are having. I can see very many of you tuned in already. Cleophas will watch, Joshua Coates, Shaq Charles, Christine Ayeko, the Millennial Christian, Naomi Simeyo, Best Staff Prof, Alex Onsase. Thank you very much for tuning into the show. And tonight, as I had informed you, we are having a discussion on film and social media or online content production. And on the show, we are having two gentlemen. But first, let me introduce to you our very first guest on the show we are having that is Emmanuel Yegon. Thank you very much, Yegon, for showing up to the show.
You're welcome. It's my pleasure, Cedric, to be on the show tonight.
Yeah, and I think Ken will be joining us along the way, but let's get into this discussion before Ken joins us later on. And first, tell us about mobile journalism, the whole idea from its inception. What was the main motivation behind coming up with mobile journalism, Africa?
So Mobile Journalism Africa was born in 2017, thereabout. We officially launched in January of 2018, but the idea started a little earlier than that. It was during the Top Story Season 2 competition, where Marvin, Ashoya, and I were representing Mo University at the competition. And after one of the boot camps that we had guys from BBC and Reuters talking to us about, doing stories using the smartphone. We decided, that we can actually take this to the next level, considering that a lot of us often after we leave campus, we struggle to find our footing because all of us want seek employment in mainstream media houses. So we decided this could be a thing that we could do and empower others to do while they wait to transition, or even do it as their full-time career, build their portfolios on. So for us, really, the smartphone is it's a pocket studio where you can actually do a lot of it. And I think one of the things that we have learned throughout this COVID-19 period and the lockdowns is that even journalists who work with mainstream media houses are able to go live, do stories, file stories from whatever location using the smartphone. It just goes to show what the place of the smartphone in this whole field is. And that's generally the basis of why we started out the company, Mobile Journalism Africa, telling stories using the most efficient, most available tool, which is always with us, always in the pocket. So I think basically that's it. At Mobile Journalism Africa, we believe that our stories are best told by us, and we are out here to sort of try and change how the African narrative is told. And we also out to train other people to be able to tell stories using their smartphone, so that together we can, change how Africa's story is told, one story at a time.
One story at a time. And I want to ask you a question here. I can see Ken has joined us. I'll be bringing him on board. A question about the difference between mobile journalism, which you're referring to, and let's talk about citizen journalism. So is it one and the same, or mobile journalism is specifically for people who have experience in journalism and training?
So I'd say, let me approach it this way, that we have people who are already doing citizen journalism, whether using the device that is the smartphone, or just using the traditional camera, or just writing text stories, print, who are working in print. And we have several of that. We have freelancers, we have just normal correspondents. We could say that you could use, mobile journalism to do citizen journalism. And the thing that I like telling people is that we are not inventing anything. It is something that's already existing. What is only changing in this space of ours is the technology and the tools that we use to tell these stories, but storytelling isn't changing. So it's just the technology, So while we are using the smartphone to tell these stories, first, all of us are trained journalists, and we could also still be using these gadgets, to do citizen journalism. So we're not necessarily attached to any, these big brands in terms of media houses, but we are freelancing out here. So that would be my response.
Oh, so anybody can join in. It's taking us actually away from the mainstream media, in a way that anybody who has the training and passion for it can get into the field with their phone and do their work. So another question that I will ask you, and before I ask that, I have there is you are receiving some greetings here from Timothy Otieno. You know Timothy
Ah,
Otieno? Yeah,
yes,
yeah,
yes.
the one,
Timo is a
yeah, who
very
just
good.
left ATN
Yeah.
News the other day.
Jambo,
Yeah,
Timo, how is the UK?
yeah.
Yeah.
And I wanted to ask you on that same thing about generally content production and not specifically on the mobile journalism idea.
Yes.
Someone wants to come up with an idea. Like currently, there is a lot of content production online. Almost
Yes.
everyone nowadays is a content producer. People are doing a lot of stuff on TikTok. People are having a lot of stuff on Facebook, on Instagram. What is someone supposed to consider before they start producing content? What are the specifications that they are supposed to look into at first?
There are different things to look into, Cedric, because you have to really think about the space that you're getting into. One, you need to figure out which platforms do you want to produce content for, because while we have all these platforms, really, it is always good to know where is this content going to be best suited for. There are people who create content for TikTok only, or people who create content for TikTok and Instagram. There are people who create exclusively for Facebook and others exclusively for YouTube. So number one is what platform are you going to be putting this content out on? The second thing is your audience. Understand your audience. Whom are you targeting? Who do you want to speak with? Because understanding that helps you to know how to connect with them. Because if you want to talk to millennials, for instance, or people who are, this generation of ours, there's just a way in which that if I do this way, it will resonate with them. There's the whole issue of the tone that you are going to use in doing your content, and even including the time when you will be publishing your content. So it's always important to first understand that, and then now once you know all that, then decide on do a whole plan on how you are going to do that content. So just plan it out. It's always good to have like sort of a calendar to know that I will be doing this and this and this and this at this particular time. So have that structured out, and then decide on how are you going to do it. So the how question: are you going to be doing it in audio format? Are you going to do so now we have podcast? Are you doing a vlog? Are you just doing normal videos? Like, what are you doing? Are you going to be doing interviews like this, or you're going to be doing content, travel content, or whatever it is? So it's really good to have that all planned out. So number one, figure out who your target audience is, figure out what platform you want to produce your content for, plan out your content, and then decide on how you want to do it. And then above it all, we usually say content is king, but consistency is queen, distribution is King Kong. So in those three things, you have that figured out.
Wow, that's a
I
nice
have
one.
explained it.
Yeah, that's a nice one. Content is king. Okay, and the rest. So there are a few questions coming in here from our audience. Someone is asking here, Alex Onsase, anauliza, what is the difference between that mobile journalism that we are talking about and blogging?
The difference is the purpose, I'd say, because I think we can all differentiate between journalistic content and just these other general content. To, let's say, now vlogs, for instance, we have vloggers who do travel content, and then we have a journalist. So like there's a total difference there, that while one is for the purpose doing content, that content on travel for the purpose of showing people the different destinations. It probably could be even blogs on entertainment and all that. The journalist in this case is telling stories, public interest stories, telling stories of people who are impacting other people's lives, change makers. So there is no difference per se in the mode of doing them, okay, but the different purpose for which this is done. So what is like if it's mobile journalism, it's storytelling, it's journalistic content essentially. Vlogging can be on different, and you can vlog on whatever topic that you like. So we have seen bloggers who do travel, who do entertainment, who do sports, who do name it. They're all. So I think the difference might not be as big or huge when it comes to the style of doing it, or the tools, or the how to, that how those stories are being told. But what those different stories serve is where the difference is. Alex.
Yeah, and yeah, thank you very much for answering that question. Well, one thing that I'm going to ask you next, and you'll allow me to play one clip of yours here, which I got from your site. And the question you shall be answering after that is, this is someone who is interested in creating content, let's say a journalist, or just content like travel or about food, some do cooking, and they have their phone. So I want you to tell us, in order to get into this content creation with the easiest resources possible, what are the things that someone needs to have? The easiest resources possible, which can help them shoot if they want video content, and then the editing up to the final product. But first, allow me play this clip of yours first before we get to it. So first of all, you want to tell us that's not a drone used in that clip?
No, it's not. It's not a drone. That's just a tiny, very tiny camera. I don't know if I can get it to show you from wherever it is. It's just a tiny camera that did that. So just mounted it on a stick, more like the selfie stick, but it's an invisible stick. So this is just a 360 camera. There are different types. This is the 1X, the old one. There's there's a latest version. It's called 1X2. There's a 1R. There are different ones, and you can get those ones online. You can just search and have a look.
Wow, that's great. So what is someone supposed to have in case they want to create content, the easiest available resources possible?
So I'll start by saying this, that long gone are the days when we used to make excuses that we are not able to do content, we are not able to do stories because we do not have quote unquote cameras. Why? Because like I said, we have a whole studio in our pockets called the smartphone. So number one, if you have a smartphone, I do not care whatever brand that you have. For as long as you have a smartphone in your pocket, then you have a tool that can enable you to tell those stories that you want to tell, to do that content that you want to do all those kinds of videos that you want to do, or even do audios or take photos. Okay, so let's get that out of the line. A lot of the time, people tend to ask us the question, which phone, which specific brand. I would tell you, it does not matter what brand you have. For as long as you have a phone, you have everything it takes, because that is your camera, number one. And then again, there are relatively cheap add-ons that you can use. In this case, tripods, because we all want stability. So this one is a small, lightweight tripod, and then we have grips. So whatever is holding my phone, and then you get a lapel mic, because essentially what you need is a good video, and a good video means you have sufficient light for your video, you have good sound, and you have stability. So for stability, you use the tripod or gimbals. or the grips, whatever you've seen that is holding my phone. And then for good sound, you get a lapel that will enable you to get good quality sound for your videos. If you cannot get a lapel, then use your your earphones, okay? Because earphones, you see that whatever you use to either add volume or play the next music on your phone, that enables you to also, it also picks sound when you're doing interviews. So if you do not have a lapel, if you cannot afford a lapel yet, then you can get you can just use your earphone to do those video stories that you wanted. You get like good sound. Back to you, Cedric.
Sorry, there are a little bit of so very great insights there from you, and for anyone who wants to get into that. And there are a few questions here, but first there is a comment here from William Decker. He's saying, wonderful insights from Yegon, the god in mobile journalism, a very knowledgeable chap in production.
Thank you so much, Decker.
Yeah.
You know, yes.
Great. Yes, also suggest a good free apps for editing. That's from Best Star Prof.
Yeah. So about that, I don't know. I'll try pull up one of. I have a document that has all those details. I'll try and share those with you. You can project them or somehow put them there. Different applications for different purposes, for editing photos, taking videos on your phone, if you want to have total control of your application, of your camera app, and also applications for editing if you're using both Android and or iOS. So there are several apps that are free. Some are paid for, but yeah, we will share. I'll share those with you in a bit so that you're able to share with the guys who are asking in the call.
Yes, thank you. And I think Ken has joined us, although I don't know if you can get Ken. Can you get us clearly so that we can bring you into the discussion, Ken? Yeah, we shall be joining Ken into the discussion. There's just a little bit of a hitch with his connectivity, but there's someone here who is asking about Mobile Journalism Africa, and he's asking that is it a company, and are they hiring or giving recruitments?
So I'd say at the moment we we are 3 years into since we launched in January of 2018. When we will start hiring, you will surely know through our digital platforms. We will make that public. We will make that information public.
Yeah, you have gotten your question there, and still on the same issue about Mobile Journalism Africa. What is the end goal? Because you can see nowadays very many people have gotten into mobile journalism and other means of creating content using their phone. So what is the end means or the end goal of Mobile Journalism Africa as the co-founder?
So like I said, our goal is to sort of like be part of the story, part of the people who are changing how Africa's narrative is told. And eventually our end goal is to be able to solution journalism, solution stories, news outlet. We want to be able to hire stories from across the continent, and really tell the stories that are untold about the continent. If you do a random search of Africa on Google, for instance, I am sure the stories that you're going to receive are either stories of war, disease, hunger, famine, and all that. But we're asking ourselves, how many more stories are there about our continent, about innovations that are coming out of the continent? And essentially just stories of change and positive change that people are, the things that young Africans are doing that are untold. So we want to be that source of content, of solution stories, constructive stories about Africa, and we want to be able to have reporters from across the continent who are just using their smartphones to tell content, to tell these stories and share content from whatever location that they'll be at.
Yeah, great. And someone did not get what you said here about using their microphone as a lapel. So
Their
she's
earphones.
yeah, their earphones.
So the thing is, once you have your earphone plugged in, just the way these are plugged in when you're listening to music or doing something. So if you are the one who's talking, and let me just get my phone. So if you're the one who's talking and you have your earphones plugged in, then you just put this part of your earphones on your shirt or something, or blouse if you're a lady. And if it's somebody else you're interviewing as well, you just go close to them and then put this part of the earphones as well on their shirts, because that helps pick sound more clearer than when you're just using your phone without a microphone.
Yeah, to reduce the noise. Yeah, so
Exactly.
Pacify Nyarpebi, you have received your answer there from Emmanuel Yegon. And there are so many people who are watching the show. That comment there, you got this from Effie Otieno, who has
Thank you
tuned
so
into
much
the
for
show as
watching,
well.
guys.
JL Empire, how do you decide on the attraction and content to create? I think you touched briefly about that, but if you can get that question, how do you decide on the attraction and content to create? So,
I do not
from
understand what JL Empire means by that, but like I said,
yeah,
once you've decided to get into this field of creating content, because they are vast, there are several fields. There's a lot of things that you can talk about. You can talk about food. You can talk about travel, sports, name it. There are a lot of things that you can focus on. So once you focus on that, you decide on whatever field you're going to be talking about. Then you start breaking that down. How do I get whom do I want to talk to? Who are these people I want to reach? And the subject now, the content is whom will I need to talk to get this information out? Yeah. So
yeah.
just start by focusing first and deciding what is it that I want to create content on, and then start planning that out. It will come out clearly.
Yeah, great. Thank you very much. And one thing that I'll ask you in this case, Mobile Journalism Africa, you have done mobile journalism for a long time, way since Moi University. And it's a coincidence that our whole panel tonight is consisting of guys who've gone through Moi University. But that aside,
Yes.
that aside, does it pay doing stories using your phone?
Yes, and the other thing that I'll have to say is you have to be patient.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I think generally, even not just the aspect of doing stories with my phone or anything, but just the whole thing about content creation. Okay, if you are in it for quick gratification, then you might be disappointed in the process. So the secret is always to be consistent. Like I said, we talked about three things. We said content is king. We said consistency is queen, and then distribution is King Kong. Yeah. So
Yeah.
that bit about making money of creating content has to come from the second bit, where we said consistency. Okay. And then when you're consistent, you will get people who will be interested in working with you. And that means partnerships that are either in kind, or partnerships that either that bring money. Okay. So it is important. I think I'll add the fact that since 2018, the other thing that has been helping us make money on the way is doing the trainings, and also producing videos for organizations and just some communities that are structured around communications, or journalism in a sense. So I'd say there are different ways. So telling the stories might not directly bring the money, but there are other things that come around, like consulting, producing videos for people, individuals, organizations, training people. That one has the money.
Wow, let's talk about those other things because very many people are interested in the money. So, someone has a nice phone. Probably, let me not mention the brands because there are so many brands that have very nice cameras on them. But then, and some of the phones are actually quite expensive. Someone has this camera, but then they have also the skills, let's say photography, videography skills, and then they want to make money. But then what comes to their mind is that I don't have a Canon or Nikon camera. So you mean someone can actually do this production using a phone?
I will say this without fear of contradiction. Yes, and yes, and yes. I can show you a number of videos, several videos that we've done exclusively on the
Yes.
smartphone. And if you are not told that they were done on the smartphone, you wouldn't know that they were produced on mobile. So really, it shouldn't be an excuse. If you have the skill to produce those videos, then why not? What are
Yeah.
you waiting for? Because unless you actually have somebody, let's say in an organization, who knows that you have those skills, then it is up to you to do those things, practically, so that people are able to see. Do those things, publish them wherever you publish them, and then share them, because it is in sharing that people get to know that Cedric is able to do these things. So when opportunities come, it is easy for someone who has seen your work, not just knows, who
Yeah.
has seen your work, to refer you and say, by the way, there's this thing that is coming up. Could you apply? Yeah. It is always better that way, applying with something that you already have in your hands, than saying, I am able to do this. And you do not need to wait for that Canon. You can start actually working using your smartphone to buy that Canon. That's it in a sense.
Wow, that's a very great insight because many people have actually the skills, but then someone just says, I don't have that big camera because they go to events and they see people with the huge cameras. The quality is almost the same, but then someone thinks being seen with that machine is all that is required for them to create the content. And someone was asking another question here, JL Empire. The quality reduces after shoot. How to keep the quality instant even after editing? Quality reduction.
JL Empire, I personally haven't experienced that unless you share that footage, that clip on WhatsApp, and then that reduces. But the videos that I have done, once I have edited, it remains in that quality. As soon as I finish shooting to editing, and when editing, I can decide how to upload, how to export in whatever quality that I want. So I do not really know about that, but I will tell you that different phones have different capabilities in terms of the resolutions. So that could be another factor, but there shouldn't be a challenge unless you have shared that clip that you have shot on via WhatsApp. Then definitely that quality will reduce.
Wow. Thank you very much. And we shall be running through some of the questions and then we come to your final word as we finish because I can see time is very much not on our side. But first, I think we shall not be having Ken because there is a little
Yeah,
bit of a
I
technical
think
hitch.
Ken has challenges with
Yeah,
connections because he's been
with
on
a
and off.
technical hitch. Yeah,
I'd
sure.
have really
So
liked to share the platform with him and listen from his film perspective.
yeah, Ken has done quite an amazing job also as a film trainer and also does content production on film. And
Yeah,
he works with Filamu Mitaani. You can see there are people he has trained there and even certified, having
yeah,
qualified in what he's doing currently as a trainer of film. I think it's based in Moi University, Filamu Mitaani. So those of you who are watching, if you just go online and search for Filamu Mitaani TV or Filamu Mitaani Film School, that's what he's doing, a very amazing job there, training young people who are actually doing amazing work. Because if you check out also as well on their YouTube channel, there are films that have been done, some traditional and different kinds of film, very amazing, very well shot. He's a great director, full production. He has all that experience, and I have myself worked with him on some of those films, and I know how amazing he can be and very good at working with people. So those of you who are watching, you can go check out Filamu Mitaani TV and Filamu Mitaani Film School and see the amazing work they are being done by Kenneth. Very amazing there. So let's go through some few comments here, Yegon, as
Yeah.
we conclude, because time is really very fast moving. Or we have answered that question from Jail, and FUTNO back again with another question: does Mojo Africa deal with audiovisual forms of media only?
No, it's multimedia. We have all forms. We have people who do stories, just photo stories. We have people who do text, I mean print, just so articles, writing articles, accompanying those with photos, and then now we have the audio visual gang. So it's entirely multimedia,
Yeah, great.
digital multimedia. Yeah.
Yeah, and best proof. What is the future of mobile journalism?
Um, now that question is really broad, because the future of mobile journalism, or is it the future of mobile journalism in Africa? I don't know, but I'll answer to the best of my ability. So
Yeah.
the future of mobile journalism in Africa, like I said, is we want to be able to hire young people, young creatives, to be able to tell stories, and not only in Kenya, but across the continent. We are glad to say that we have a lot of partners across the continent. We've even influenced the starting up of other Mojo startups. We have Mojo Sudan, we have Salon Messenger in Sierra Leone, and those numbers are growing. We want to see more people. We are actually happy to see more people taking this up and telling stories using their smartphones without any limitation whatsoever of saying that they do not have the traditional cameras. So the future for us, that's how it looks. But also to speak to the issue of the future of mobile journalism generally, I'd say that over here, I mean, or in this part of the world, is where we are sort of trying to appreciate and embrace the use of the smartphone as a tool for storytelling. But over and over, I think over time we will see that a lot more people, like many people, will appreciate and use the smartphone for storytelling. And even more than that, we are also starting to see the use of wearables to tell stories. So spectacles that have cameras. We are seeing the use of augmented and virtual reality in stories. We are seeing gamification. So really, there's a lot that is changing in storytelling generally. So it's really up to us to sort of learn these skills as they come, so that we incorporate them in our workflows and be able to use. Like I said, storytelling does not change; it's the technologies that keep changing. But yeah, we should be able to embrace this and use them to tell our stories in the best way possible.
Yeah, great. Yes.
Oh yeah, no, I
Yes.
was reading Decca's comment.
Yeah, there's a comment here by William Decker. That is Jacobiero, Ken's secret name. The name is used to acknowledge when he does great stuff, and Ken really does great stuff.
Yeah. I mean,
That's
Ken has done even
uh,
stuff for
Ken,
TV, so
who was
he's
supposed to
really good
have.
at what he does.
Yeah, he does great stuff. He has even worked for a certain TV series on farming, on which he
Exactly.
was working also on the team. Very great stuff there that Ken does on production. as we go on with the questions, Best Prof there asked, answered. We have Ross Lorgisa is also tuned into the show. We have Peter George, Sam, that's Chief Sam is tuned into the show as well. Wambui Samuel tuned.
From Moi.
Yeah, Chief Sam. Yeah. We have Caroline Omolo. Nicole is tuned into the show as well. Thank you very much. Oriwo Samuel is tuned into the show as well. We have Best Prof there.
Oh yeah, about the apps. As almost forgetting.
Yeah, you go ahead. I think we are almost getting done. Yeah, sure.
So about the applications, there are different applications that that you can use to, edit. Some are free, some are paid for, some somewhere in the middle there. But for guys who are using Android, have a wide variety to choose from.
Yeah.
Guys who are using iPhones have sort of a narrower few options because most of those applications are paid for. So if it's you want applications for multi-track editing, there are different ones. There is Luma Fusion for iOS only, and that is paid for. You can also get that, I think, on Android, but you have to pay for that. KineMaster is freely available. KineMaster is freely available on Android and iOS. The thing is that it comes with a watermark, which upon payment again of some little fee, then you can get all the premium features. We have Power Director, which is available for Android guys for free. We have a Light Motion, which is available also for free for Android guys. There's Quick. You name them. There are a lot of applications for editing. We have Movie Maker, we have Animoto, we have Vlogit, which is also available for iOS and Android. I'm sure there are more. There's InShot as well. So there are many applications that you can get off the Play Store for editing. So try them out. If you want to use KineMaster specifically, go to my the YouTube channel for Mobile Journalism Africa. There's a tutorial that we've done on how to use that to edit. It's sort of like your Premiere Pro, but on mobile.
Yeah,
if that makes sense.
Okay. Yeah. Great. And let's wind up because time has really gone. And tell us on how someone who is interested in following and getting inspired by your content as Mobile Journalism Africa, and you personally, how they can get to you and how they can get access to your content, and then you give us your final take.
All right. Thank you very much, guys, for watching. My name is Yegon Emmanuel. You can find me on Facebook, Yegon Emmanuel, Instagram, Yegon_Emmanuel Keep, on Twitter at Yegon Emmanuel_, and on YouTube, just look for Emmanuel Yegon. You can also find us at Mobile Journalism Africa on Facebook, Mobile Journalism Africa on Instagram, at Mojo_Africa on Twitter. You can also go to mobilejournalism.co.ke. That's our website. And also my personal website is yegonemmanuel.com. Now, to wind this all up, thank you so much, Cedric, for hosting me. I really I would have wished that we had Ken here so that we can engage in this discourse on filmmaking and content creation. But nevertheless, I'd challenge all those who are watching, and you can tell a friend to tell a friend that long gone are those days when you'd say that you are not creating content because you do not have a camera. You actually have a whole studio in your pocket. So go forth and create content. If you have questions about how to edit your videos, if you have if you know stories of young change makers, people who are creating solutions, who've created solutions and are creating solutions to solve local problems in their communities, reach out. We can tell those stories together. and give you the byline and train you on how to do those stories, because our joy is in seeing all of you telling stories comfortably using your smartphones from whatever locations that you're doing that from. Like I said, at Mobile Journalism Africa, we say that our stories are best told by us, and really there's no one who understands our situations better than we do, and we are at best place to tell those stories ourselves. So go forth and tell those stories because you can.
Go forth and tell those stories because you can tell the stories through the mobile phone that you are using it to watch us right now. And thank you very much, Emmanuel Yegon. It has been a pleasure having you on this show, and I hope that we can organize for another session, probably when Ken is in a good position to join us live. Today there has been a little bit of a technical hitch, but we will organize for one so that we can also learn from him. So you can follow Emmanuel Yegon on the platforms he has given. Also, Kenneth, you can also follow his work that he does. Go and look for Filamu Mitaani TV on YouTube, Facebook, all social media. Also, Filamu Mitaani Film School, and you can also contact him on those platforms to know how you can be part of his amazing work that he's doing. Thank you very much for tuning into the show. Remember, if you have any advertisements that you want us to do for you, you can get in touch with us at The Alternative Voice on all our social media platforms. Kindly get in touch. It has been an amazing show we've had tonight. Thank you very much for tuning in, and see you next week. My name is K K Cedrick.
It's Trends O'Clock. This is